Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Rapper Mannie Fresh performs live at the Celebrez and Rose Fest at Merriweather Park at Symphony Woods this Sunday in Columbia, Maryland. He joined me to discuss his journey from New Orleans to form Cash Money Records, producing hit albums for Juvenile, Lil Wayne, BG, and Turk, while joining Birdman to record big-timers hits like Get Your Roll On, Number One Stunna, and Still Fly. Hey, Mannie Fresh. Hey, thank you so much for joining us on WTOP in DC.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man. DC is one of my favorite places in the world. It goes down.
Why is that?
I mean, just the energy, the people, man, and the folks, like, they always show up for Mannie Fresh, and just the energy that they give me, that makes me want to go harder.
I love it. I love it. And I just realized I said it wrong. It's not Mannie Fresh. I should have said Fresh.
Yes. Yeah.
I had to correct that. When did you come up with that, by the way? Did it just come out that way?
I kind of came up with it. It was this thing that Eminem used to always do, like when he used to do his chicka ear. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that would be cool to, make my own little. So it was just a play off of Eminem always doing his little scratches with his mouth.
I love it. I love it. I never knew that. See, we're getting gold. All right. Well, we got to tell everybody the reason we're talking is you are coming for the Celebrez in Rose Festival. The last 2 years it was down at National Harbor, and we interviewed DJ Jazzy Jeff for that. But I think they're changing it up. They're moving it to a new location at Symphony Woods at Merriweather Park in Columbia, Maryland. I mean, Merriweather's a legendary spot too. But what's the deal with the festival? Are you performing? You're supposed to wear pink or something? What do you know?
Well, from what I know, they just bring Figgy Fresh and have a good time. And anything could happen with me. With my energy, sometimes, I go from a DJ to performing some of my songs back to a DJ. So anything can happen. The good thing is I wear a whole bunch of hats. So, expect a whole lot. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I love it. I love it. We can't wait. I am obsessed with so much of your songs. Your songs are like the soundtrack to me and my friends' lives growing up in middle and high school. We were like perfect for this, man. So I would love to go through some of it, but remind us sort of your origin story. I know you're born in New Orleans in what, 69? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you get to the point of joining Cash Money Records? Is it you met Baby first, right?
Yeah, I met them through me DJing through the city, and I was just DJing like uptown, downtown, and New Orleans is kind of like forbidden land. Like uptown don't, get down with downtown and vice versa. But I was a DJ that, everybody loved. So just by me going in their territory and DJing every week, becoming the guy up there and just bringing, just knocking down walls to say like, this is silly right now. Let's all come together or whatever. And, they were starting a record company. And of course, me being a DJ transforming into a producer, and I was just like, hey, give me a shot and watch what happens.
I love it. All right. So Baby was that first connection into the group then. I guess 97 formed a duo sort of within the Cash Money umbrella there. The Big Timers, the first album, How You Love That, 97. Why was Birdman the perfect wingman to form a duo? Out of all those guys, why was it good that you guys hooked up?
I mean, because, we took the concept a little bit different. Like, we wanted to sell something that nobody had done. Like, we was like, our whole persona was to be bigger, better, faster, stronger, all of that Daft Punk, you heard me, than anybody else that done it. So he was the perfect person because he always did talk that kind of talk, and that was our lane. Like, we was like, okay, you got storytellers, but you ain't had nobody that said like, instead of saying a Cadillac, how about a space shuttle? I'm like, you can have a Cadillac, but you ain't got a space shuttle. So we was thinking on that level.
I love it. Cadillac versus space shuttles.
Exactly.
Well, it was a rocket that took off, baby, because you ended up, in addition to the Big Timer stuff, you were producing some of those great, awesome Cash Money albums. You produced Juvenile's 400 Degrees, I guess, in 98. I think it ranked like on Rolling Stone's top 500 albums. It had hits like Ha, you're a paper chaser, you got your block on fire, and you were actually featured in Back That Ass Up. One of the biggest hits of the era. Just memories of producing, Ha for Juvenile, and also producing, Back That Ass Up and your verse on it too.
Yes, sir. Like that. I mean, I remember like Juvie used to do this song, but it really had no structure. So it was kind of like a song that was already his, and it was big in New Orleans. It was big at block parties, and and we just brung it up like maybe second to last when we was doing 400 Degrees, and I was like, it would be kind of cool if you did Back That Ass Up, but we took a different kind of take on it. I'm like, what if we put classical music with it, put some 808 drums, something different, had this intro that made people well, you could set up before you get to the dance floor. Like one of those songs that, like a great song, like a cool song to me, like always had like an intro where it gave you time to hurry up and finish your drink or finish talking to somebody. And then you could get to the dance floor when the beat dropped.
So that is what Back That Ass Up. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And wait, speak to it real quick, ending the sentence with ha.
Yeah, the way ha happened was we were at a restaurant in Nashville, and he was saying that jokingly, and I was just like, that is a song. Like, how he was saying that jokingly, like, you something, 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 huh? You huh? And I was like, dude, we need to go do that song.
So wait, at a restaurant, you're just sitting at a table. He's like, pass the French fries on. Do you want to order a Coke on?
Yeah, so he was joking, and I was like, we need to go do this song. So I was beating on the table, and when we got back to the studio, we recorded it, and the rest is history.
Oh, that's such a good tidbit. Thank you. You're giving me gold. All right. Well, I got to also mention the G code because you produced that for Juvenile too.
Yeah,
you understand? And I got that fire, if you want that Oscar Mayer. People, us our age, we quote your stuff all the time. I hope you know that. But memories of putting together that, and it can go into some raunchy places with the Oscar Mayer, but that was sort of the era of the genre,
Yeah. And Juvie had, she get it from her mama and all of those kind of songs. So I think just Juvie connection with people, like even with the raunchiness of like, you know what I'm saying, and having the guts to say it, that's what made them great albums.
And why we all bought it like hotcakes.
Yeah.
BG's Chopper City in the Ghetto, Bling Bling. You produced that. Lil Wayne's The Block Is Hot, with F the World and Let Them Die. You produced all that stuff. We'll talk about both of those gentlemen. And I mean, Lil Wayne probably blew up more than all of them, really.
Yeah. I mean, BG, like, that kind of changed the whole structure of what Cash Money was. The first generation of Cash Money was like, it was kind of New Orleans bounce twerk label, like, because that's what was going on in our city. So, and then, we get BG, and BG came along as a rapper, and, he changed my production style and everything, just how incredible he was with his rhymes and how true he was with his rhymes. So I would definitely say the birth of people, the world understanding Cash Money was BG, and Wayne, on the other hand, like, just to see him grow up, I feel like my music with him is like, that's like Bible, like it's First Testament, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, and then, you get to something later on, but to see him grow up and evolve into what he is right now, that's just crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We all love that unique voice on those songs, but even us biggest fans and you as biggest colleagues could never have predicted that he would shoot that high. I mean, it's insane.
Exactly.
Tell me about Baller Blocking, the movie soundtrack, the whole thing. Baller, why you blocking us? Baller Blocking us, get me keys to the Rover truck.
But Baller Blocking was like the craziest thing ever that could have happened, like in our lives, because it was no script. We was just kind of just shooting, and for it to turn into something that was just like, wait, wait, you for real? Like, this platinum, this movie is actually 1 million sold, and in a time where stuff had to be in the theater, and your VHS tape goes platinum, like, on just some kids that just was like, oh, we making up a story as we go. And, and it really had no storyline, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It really didn't, but it worked at that time. But I just think the world was so in love with what we was doing as entrepreneurs and how we was moving. So they supported it, and just our lingo, the way we moved and everything about New Orleans, just, it shocked the world.
It really did. It took over the world. Well, we've given a lot of love in this interview to all the other guys, Juvenile and BG and Lil Wayne and all the rest in the group. But we got to talk some big timers really quick. So, I got that work, second album, Get Your Roll On. Whose idea was it to sort of say those lyrics in those sort of like, what do you call them? Like brief staccato, like Rolex mode,
Yeah, that was me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always thought like simplicity will always sell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Simplicity has always, the first generation of Cash Money, or just let's just say the mix of it, always was something regular and something a little bit, futuristic. When we did videos, we stuck to Chrysler 300s. We struck, and then we might give you a Lambo, but we always gave you something that was regular, as well as, like that was something that just, anybody can, you could get that. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
tried to not just oversell it. We wanted to be like, okay, we got the Lambos, but we also got to have the cars that the average working man could get. Just fix them up a little bit, and that would make everybody happy. So when we did that song, it was the simplicity of like, just let's just make something easy that everybody can learn. Like you'll know it, from the second time you hear it.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And of course, the same album. It's hard to believe there was a song bigger than "Get Your Roll On," but I think "Number One Stunner" was.
Yeah.
Tell me the idea to how did you guys come up with dropping all those like action hero pop culture reference, James Bond, Jackie Chan, and that, you know what, MacGyver. You mentioned Evil Knievel, like this pop culture all over that thing.
Yeah, because that was our heroes growing up. Like, you know what I'm saying? We thought they did the most incredible stunts in the world. Like, and like you said, Evil Knievel, like, nope. You had to actually live in the 80s to know Evil Knievel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was all of our, and even right now, the disconnect with culture, like they don't really have no heroes. They don't look at nobody as, like action figures, or somebody that was just like almost bigger than life to you. And when we was thinking of those names, we were always saying like, who was bigger than life to us? Who was, and everybody who we named, it was kind of like, oh, in their own right was a star.
Yeah, maybe Mannie Fresh is that for people of a of a certain age. Because seriously, you could come up to people at least my age, maybe not older folks, but you come up to some people on the street and say, "I'm the number one stunner," and they're gonna go, "What? What?
Yeah.
What?" Like everybody knows it. All right. Well, before we run, we have to hit Hood Rich really quick because Still Fly may have been bigger than all of them.
Yes,
Gator
sir.
boots with the pimped out Gucci suits. Take me just real quick. Any memories of writing that, either
Yeah,
lyrically or
when I
melody?
wrote that, I don't know if you heard the story, but nobody liked that song. You know what I'm saying? Nobody liked the song because they thought like I was just going too left with it. There was just like, where we painted this bigger than life persona, and it was like you going backwards, like with some of the stuff you saying. And I was like, dude, this is the most truest song to, like I'm like, if you're a Martian, if you're green, if you're white, if you're black, if you're Hispanic, if you're Asian, whatever, this is how the world lives. This lyric, the hook of that song is everybody.
We all can
Everybody,
relate to it.
yeah, everybody can relate to that. And when I was writing that, I was thinking that this is a song that everybody can relate to. Like, and I'm like, it's relatable. It didn't just go to the hood or whatever, because you got wealthy ladies riding around with a quarter tank of gas right now
In
because
their
they
new
just don't.
E-Class.
Yeah, and they knew E-Class. All you got, somebody, but everybody, somewhere, one of those lines fits your life.
Oh yeah, everybody can't pay the rent because all our money's spent. Like we
Exactly.
all we all we
Exactly.
all can relate to that, man.
Everybody can relate to that at some time in their life.
It is a genius song. You can still put it on. If you put it on the club, everyone would run out and be like, "Oh my god, I remember that." Well, awesome. I guess sort of in the final seconds, take me into the solo stuff. The Mind of Mannie Fresh in '04, Return to the Ball in '09. Like, was it freeing? Was it nerve-wracking breaking out from the group or
No, it's
breaking out from the
actually
dude?
cool because the Mind of Manny Fresh to a lot of people is a cult album. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just love the craziness that I did. Like, you know what I'm saying? And there's so many people that always tell me like, dude, this is my favorite. This is such my, that's this is my favorite album. And it's gold status, and for something that usually like a producer, like usually they don't really work out too well with doing. I work good with other people, but it wasn't. It was the crazy thing was, I think I ain't gonna say it was too many songs on it, but I did a whole bunch of songs because I am the producer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so nobody was going like, hey, narrow it down to 9. You know what I'm saying? Or just do 8. So I just went crazy, and when I feel it again, I'll do it again. And that's kind of the way I work. But I am super, super grateful super, super grateful for fans that still appreciate Mannie Fresh and for the new ones that I've, gained.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad you broke off solo. Like I always thought it was cool when there'd be like this established group like at that time. I don't know, like Bone Thugs or something, and then you would run out and want to get Busy's individual album and Lazy's and Crazy. You know what I mean? Like you'd want to go get all their individual albums. Like
exactly.
So that sparks a final question for me for of all those groups, where does Cash Money rank with like Wu-Tang and Bone Thugs and all the factions of the late 90s, 2000s? Do you think you're right up there with the best of them?
Yeah, man. Even, I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I don't enough.
Do it.
Cash Money sound changed the way hip hop is. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, trap music is really Cash Money sound. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's that era. Like, so I don't think we get enough recognition for, changing the world. But yeah, in the era that we were right there, we changed the world. And the fact that Cash Money Records is still relevant, like you can't deny, like, even if we all not together, Cash Money Records is still alive and kicking. You know what I'm saying? And look at the success, the trees that came from it, the branches that came from it. You got Juvenile, you got Mannie Fresh, you got Lil Wayne, you got people that's still active.
Yeah, it's like when they do like NFL coaching trees, when you see all the other Super Bowl champion coaches that came out of whoever, yeah, exactly. I'm with you. I think you guys are underrated. Like people, when people think back to the era, they're, Public Enemy gets deservedly so, NWA deservedly so, Wu-Tang, all even Bad Boy, whatever, like all these groups that people come to mind, but Cash Money Records is right up with all of them, if you ask me. So we need to give you all credit.
Yes, sir. And I mean, the slogan is men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. When you do the numbers and, the math on how many records Cash Money sold as a label, you know what I'm saying? As a self-contained label, nobody's done that.
Nope. It is all-timer stuff. So everyone really, I hope they, hearing us remember, rattle off all these songs, I hope they go back and realize, oh, wow, yeah, I loved all of that. Give them credit, baby. Awesome. Well, you've been so generous with your time. Again, everyone, Mannie Fresh is coming to the Celebres and Rose Festival. It's going to be out at this weekend out at Symphony Woods at Merriweather Park in Columbia. Thanks so much for doing this. I guess I'd be remiss if I don't at least get your reaction really quick to Tina Turner just died, man.
Whoa.
Did you hear that?
I did not know that, bro.
It just came down while you and I were setting up the Zoom stuff. That's a legend, age 83.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Yeah,
legendary status. I mean, that's one of the people that I can wholeheartedly say I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. You know what I'm saying? Because I know her era, she had to go through some things for me to do what I had to do, So hats off to her, you know what I'm saying? And, I wish her family many blessings and, and healing, because like I said, that woman is a legend.
Absolutely. Well, sorry that I had to be the one to break that to you, but I mean, she's a legend, man. She's a legend. Wow. Well, thank you so much for doing this, Mannie Fresh. If you can't tell, I love your stuff and keep it coming over the years. Keep it coming.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I hope to see you out there.
All right. Be well.
Be well as well.
Thanks so much for joining us on Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Remember to hit the subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.